All right, so it looks like you're doing some research on apartments here in Dallas, and maybe you live in Dallas and you're just looking for a change of scenery, or maybe you live in Australia and you're trying to figure out if you want to move to Texas. And regardless of the case, you're gonna want to check out this video. We're at the newest luxury high-rise on the edge of Old East Dallas, and I'm gonna show you every nook and cranny that this building has to offer. From the floor plans, pricing, incentives, elevators, guest parking, gym, co-working spaces, everything that makes this building unique. So that way you can get an idea on if the Oliver could be a good fit for you. And if it's your first time swinging by the channel, welcome. My name's Lucas. I'm an apartment locator here in Dallas, and every single day I take calls, texts, and emails from folks like you, and 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 you, helping them find apartments all throughout the Dallas area. So if you ever have any questions about anything that I cover, feel free to drop me a line. All of my information is below in the description, and I'd be more than happy to help answer any questions that you might have. So without any further ado, let's go check out the Oliver. The Oliver is a brand new 19-story luxury high-rise, and we are just east of Highway 75 and a hair north of Old East Dallas. And I've had a number of you reach out asking for a vlog over this building, and I'm super stoked to show it to you today. This building is comprised of 351 units, of which are studios, 1 bedrooms, and 2 bedrooms. And as far as the floor plans, we're going to be covering 1 of the studios, 1 of the 1 bedrooms, and 2 of the 2 bedrooms, on top of all of the amenities. Wanted to highlight the 4 restaurants and Starbucks that are currently under construction alongside the building. They started swinging hammers a couple of months ago, and all of these venues should be opened sometime between February and April. And a couple of things on this: we don't know the names of the restaurants yet, but just by looking at the Oliver, I can imagine that they will be pretty bougie, and also the timeline is somewhat loose. And I say this because I've lived in buildings before that have promised dates for restaurants to be completed, and they are almost always late due to delays in construction schedules and what have you. So take the timeline with a grain of salt. But you'll see here in a sec me walk up to an easel with a poster that shows the rendering of what the area outside will look like after construction is completed. So within the next year, this is going to essentially be a village with the Oliver right in the middle of all of the restaurants. You will also have LA Fitness, Kroger, Whataburger, Target, and an Office Max, all within walking distance, so that way you can have something to do while you're waiting for the restaurants to be completed. And going back to the building, as we're walking through the lobby, you'll have a 24/7 concierge, a resident lounge, 2 separate study areas, and 3 full-service elevators. And as you can imagine, everything looks and feels and smells fresh and new and slick and sleek and whatever other adjective you can think of. There's really only a handful of residents here as of the time of this recording, and the majority of the common areas and amenities have not even been used yet. In terms of parking, there is no valet, so your guests will park either in the parking lot right out front of the building or the ground level of the parking garage. And the garage consists of 8 levels in total, and all of those spots will be first come, first serve for residents. Moving over to the floor plans, and we're going to kickstart with the S1 Studio, right under 600 square feet. And I'm panning the camera down at my feet to start off because I want you to get an idea of spacing here as you walk in. But also, slight caveat, my feet are kind of like boats. I'm rocking size 13s. So take that for what it's worth, just in case the spacing looks tiny. It's actually pretty spacious. All of these units, regardless of studio, 1-bed or 2-bed, are gonna have hardwood in the common areas and bedrooms, tile in the bathrooms. So quick call out on that for those of you that don't want any carpet in your unit. You'll also have gas burners, GE appliances, and a smart home thermostat. What I like about the S1 here is that they actually give you a pretty decent amount of space for storage, because as we're walking in, you'll see some built-in shelving and cabinets on the other wall across from your kitchen. I really like how they did the LED strip lighting on the shelving. You definitely don't see that often. And you'll also get floor-to-ceiling windows, a full balcony, and then your closet will be through the bathroom. All in all, I don't mind this studio. Obviously, it's pretty tidy, and they did a good job of opening the space as much as they could. I just kind of wish that the architects would have had the wall between the living room and the bedroom for more privacy. Granted, this is a studio, but there are other buildings in Dallas that have studios that actually feel more like a junior 1-bedroom, with the room being sectioned off. So if a studio is on your radar and if you want that division, make sure to check out these buildings as well. Next up, we have the A2 1-bedroom, just over $2,300, and this 1-bedroom has the largest closet out of any of the 1-bedroom floor plans. So if you were on the hunt for a 1-bedroom and a spacious spot to hang your clothes, then you're gonna want to make sure to tune in to the A2. And I'm liking the larger island here. Some buildings in Dallas have 1-bedrooms that are just too small to host, but this island is going to give you an ample amount of space to lay out a bunch of pots and pans, as well as 2 or 3 bar stools. One big thing that I wanted to call out on this unit is for when we go out to the balcony here in a sec. You'll see the parking lot, which is basically just dirt as it has not been paved yet, but you'll also see a smidge of the village restaurant area that they are building. But more importantly, we are on the 6th floor, and you are still getting a partial view of the skyline. Most sky rises here in Dallas, you'll need to be on a higher floor to even see the skyline at all. So this definitely makes the Oliver quite unique if the skyline view is part of your criteria. In addition, you'll have floor-to-ceiling windows in the living room, but not in the bedroom. So special call out there, even though that might disappoint disappoint you. I was here at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon during daylight savings time, and we still had plenty of light in the bedroom. So I still think that the Oliver is worth considering if floor to ceiling windows in the bedroom is important to you. So now moving over to the A4 one bedroom, coming in at 783 square feet, and this is going to be their model unit, so you can get an idea of what this floor plan and layout could look like once you get all of your stuff in it. But this one actually opens up quite a bit. You're definitely going to want to put your couch in the corner there in front of your floor to ceiling windows. You'll also have a dual vanity in the bathrooms. So for you ladies, in case you would like to have a makeup and a hand washing sink, I think this could also be ideal for a couple, but you will also have a stand-up shower. Now we have our B3 2-bedroom, and there is a unique gadget in this kitchen that I have never seen before. And I think this is just the Oliver trying to flex on us. But you'll notice that there are no burners in the kitchen. But if you look closely at the island, you'll see that the burners are built into the island itself. And these are called induction cooktops. I don't really know much about them or how they work. It's my first time seeing it. But this is where you will cook your food or boil your water. And it's a very unique technology to where, let's say if you boil water for 20 minutes and then if you remove the pan, the island cooktop will still be cold to touch. I know it sounds a little crazy, but it's some pretty cool technology here. I'm dropping a link to this product in the description if you'd like to do some more research on how it works. And the cherry on top, it will also charge your smartphone wirelessly. So this is one of the most unique and cutting edge things that I think I have ever seen in an apartment unit. So I wanted to make sure that we gave you guys some dialogue on it. Your balcony here will be larger compared to what we've seen. You also get a pantry in the kitchen. And I think this floor plan would be ideal for someone such as myself that works from home a decent amount of time, because you'll get that second bedroom that can be used as an office. But I also have a ton of folks that reach out that just graduated and they're going to be living with a roommate. And if that's the case for you, and if you're trying to split the rent down the middle, then the B3 could be a solid choice for you as well. So now we have our largest floor plan that is offered here at the Oliver, coming in at just over 1,800 square feet. This is going to be our B7 2-bedroom, and I actually have a close friend of mine that is looking at signing a lease for this floor plan, specifically for the gigantic floor-to-ceiling windows in the living room, and you're just gonna have space for days in here. When I turn around and go back to the living room, you'll see it here in a second, but also for the separated tub and stand-up shower behind the glass in the master bathroom. And you'll also get a window in the kitchen above the sink, which I think gives it more of a condo vibe. But all in all, these floor plans speak for themselves, and this will be the last one that we show before we move over to the amenities.
All right, so a quick pause. If you're getting any value whatsoever from this video, then you got to do this thing, just like all of these people are doing. And the reason why they're doing it is because as I'm a locator here in Dallas, I do have relationships with a majority of the leasing offices within the Dallas area, and I can help you capture additional incentives and move-in bonuses, which can help make your living situation just a little more affordable. It's also important to do this thing before you start touring so that I can be a part of the process from the beginning, and that way I can actually help you. And the buildings here in Dallas actually incentivize me to bring new residents through the door, so it's not like you'd be cutting me a check for my services. That's being taken care of by the other party. So it's absolutely no skin off your back to go ahead and reach out. If you want to move into the Oliver, or maybe you're doing research on other buildings and you just want my opinion, feel free to do this thing and I will do absolutely the best that I can for you.
Next up, we have our gym, which is down here on the ground level. And as I was walking in, I was actually pretty relieved. And I say that because this is obviously a smaller space. Sometimes buildings will try to put 10 pounds of stuff in a 5-pound bag and it will just look too cluttered. So I like how the Oliver has the equipment and all of the machines situated. The dumbbells go up to about 75 pounds. I didn't see any loose barbells that can be loaded with plates, but I did see pre-loaded loose barbells, as well as a Smith machine, some cardio equipment on the perimeter, and then an outdoor fitness lawn, of which you'll see here in a second, right next to the cycling room that's loaded with a couple of Pelotons. But all in all, I don't mind this gym, but for me, I think I would need some more space. I got some long limbs and I also enjoy my platforms and bumper plates and squat racks. So if you're like me, keep this in mind since you will have LA Fitness that's within walking distance. But if you're more of a low-key gym goer, then you'll have more than enough here to be dangerous. So next up, we've got our swimming pool, and this is a multi-leveled infinity. So you've got the deeper spot, which is going to be off in the distance, and then the more shallow spot will be right in front of me. I'm not sure how much sunlight we're going to get out here, but keep in mind, I recorded this in November during daylight savings time. So I can imagine during the heat of pool season, you'll get a nice pocket of sun here that will nestle between the buildings. I also saw 2 gas grills and tons of seating. All in all, I thought this pool felt pretty spacious. Again, there's only a handful of residents out here and we're not during pool season, so there's not a ton of action, but I can imagine by next summer, people are gonna be pretty lively out here. The next amenity is going to be the jewel room, and with the green tinted glass you can kind of put two and two together on where it got its name. But I gotta say, it actually felt more like a pool lounge. It's just on the second floor overlooking the pool. I heard that this space can be reserved as it will be one of the main spots for when the Oliver hosts resident events.
That's going to wrap us up here at the Oliver, and this is one of the newest buildings in Dallas that has some of the best rates for a brand new unit that has never been lived in. So if you are on the hunt for a new unit that has never been lived in, feel free to do this thing, and I will make sure to point you in the right direction. Some of you are probably scratching your head thinking, you know what, I'm not sure if the Oliver is going to be my vibe. Maybe I'm looking at Uptown. Maybe I want something a little more walkable. And if that's the case, feel free to check out this playlist, because I made a building tour just like this one over some of the most popular apartment buildings here in Dallas, and it will be helpful if you're doing some more research. So with that, y'all stay out of trouble, and we'll catch you in the next video. Y'all be good.